Hey everybody, I hope you guys are doing well. So I wanted to do this video regarding Mase and the fact that Mase called out Diddy a few days ago on Instagram because of a lot of his unscrupulous practices that people have been talking about for years. But somehow it always manages to get swept under a rug again when you got all the black guys at the Rock Nation brunch posing together, talking about black excellence. Somehow people forget about that because you see all this money in the room. But Mase wasn't having it. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mase, some of you, but Mase was one of Bad Boy's biggest artists. Now, after the tragic death of Biggie Smalls, I would say that Mase pretty much revitalized Bad Boy with his album Harlem World, which went 4 times platinum. So anyway, Diddy received the Icon Award last weekend, and he gave this speech that pretty much set Mase off. Go ahead and take a listen to this speech, guys.
So I say this with love to the Grammys, because you really need to know this. Every year, y'all be killing us, man. Man, I'm talking about the pain. I'm speaking for all the artists here, the producers, the executives. The amount of time that it takes to make these records, to pour your heart out into it, and you just want an even playing field. In the great words of Erykah Badu, we are artists and we are sensitive about our shit. We are passionate. For most of us, this is all we got. This is our only hope. Truth be told, hip-hop has never been respected by the Grammys. Black music has never been respected by the Grammys to the point that it should be. So right now, in this current situation, it's not a revelation. This thing been going on. And it's not just going on in music, it's going on in film, it's going on in sports, it's going on around the world. And for years, we've allowed institutions that have never had our best interests at heart to judge us. And that stops right now.
And everybody cheering on that little speech that he gave. I just rolled my eyes when I saw that speech simply because I just thought to myself, oh, so you're going to give them 365 days to get their act together and calling them out, even though I've heard Nicki Minaj said something similar to this before and everybody called her bitter, but it's whatever. I just find it interesting that he's sitting up here taking this award from the Grammys and calling them out, yet you keep working with them and yet you keep showing up and yet you guys don't show up for the Black Award shows. But see, this is what I'm talking about. That's why I'm talking about this whole Black excellence and the fraudulence that is Black excellence. It's just fake to me. It's just really, really fake. But that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. So anyway, when his speech went viral and everybody's like, yes, that's great. Yes, we need to have more ownership and Black people need to own more things and all this other stuff. And, you know, they big up in Puff and they just, oh, how wonderful it is. Meek Mill decides to insert himself and says, what's up with all these different race men got all these young Black men in slave contracts in the music business? Come get with us if you need help fixing your situation. DC, Rock Nation is literally stealing. Now we found something we can get rich off. All right. And so Mase actually posted what Meek Mill said. And this was Mase's basically response to what Diddy said up there. He said, I heard your Grammy speech about how you are for the artist and about how the artist must take back control. So I will be the first to take that initiative. Also, before we ask of other ethnicities to do right, we should do us as Black people better, especially the creators. I heard you loud and clear when you said that you are now for the artist, and to that my response is, if you want to see change, you can make a change today by starting with yourself. Your past business practices knowingly has continued purposely starved your artists and been extremely unfair to the very same artists that helped you obtain that Icon Award on the iconic Bad Boy label. For example, you still got my publishing from 24 years ago in which you gave me $20K, which makes me never want to work with you as any artist wouldn't after you know someone is robbing you and tarnishing your name when you don't want to comply with his horrendous business model. However, People would always ask, what's up with Mase? So I would be forced to still perform to not look crazy when I was getting peanuts, and the robbery would continue. So many great moments in people's lives in music were lost. But again, I rode with you in the face of death without flinching, and you still wouldn't do right. I never said anything because I wanted to wait until I was financially great so I can ensure that I was addressing this from a place of pure place and not out of spite. To add insult, you keep screaming Black excellence and love, but I know love isn't free. So I offered you $2 million in cash just a few days ago to sell me back my publishing as his biggest artist alive that always show you respect for you giving me an opportunity at 19 years old. Your response was, if I can match what the European guy offered him, that would be the only way I can get it back. Or else I can wait until I'm 50 years old and it will revert back to me from when I was 19 years old. You brought it for about $20K and I offered you $2 million in cash. This is not Black excellence at all. When our own race is enslaving us, if it's about us owning, it can't be about us owning each other. No more hiding behind love. You changed. Give the artists back their money so they can take care of their families. And that was a word, y'all. Now, I saw on social media, I saw a lot of people saying, oh, I ain't reading all that. I ain't reading all that. And God damn it, that's the freaking problem. Don't you think? Lord, they always say, if you want to have something from a nigga, put it in the book. That couldn't be more true. I saw so many people saying they weren't going to read it, and maybe that's the damn problem. All right, that you just don't have time. You just go by the little title, or you go by the little blurb you see, and you're not willing to see what this man was actually saying. And I, for one, believe every word he is saying, because this is not the first time we have heard about Diddy ripping off his artists. But like I said, I wanted to show you guys the speech that he made, just show you just how hypocritical he is by what he has done to Mase and what he has done to other people. I honestly, absolutely 100% believe Mase. How many bad boy artists you can think of, and there's a whole lot of them, that right now are just super wealthy. Now, if they left, of course, and got out of that early on, they're probably doing fine, right? Like Mary J. Blige was able to finally get herself together, even though she technically was broke too, got ripped off by her ex-husband as well. But Faith Evans finally got on about her business. But just think about all the bad boy artists who were probably living from pillar to post simply because Diddy ripped them off. Carl Thomas, I can go on, 112, Shine. Didn't Shine do a bid for Diddy? I can go on. Total should have been way bigger than what they were. They were so talented. One of my favorite songs is with Mase and Total. Tell Me What You Want From Me. That was a huge hit. And the fact that Pam was out here working at White Castle at one point. I remember her talking about she was working at White Castle. And I'm just thinking, how is that possible? And don't sit here and say that they didn't manage their money well. A lot of that has to do with the fact that they didn't have money. He didn't pay those people the right way. Danity Kane, Day 26. Danity Kane was huge. To me, I thought they was big as hell. Big. I love some of their songs, Damaged and stuff like that. All these artists talk about how he ripped them off. I can go on and on. The list is really, really long. Craig Mack, a lot of these artists, just the Locks. The Locks was begging for their publishing back from Diddy. And he did them so wrong. He did them so dirty. And like I said, I believe Mase. I believe it. The fact that this man offered you $2 million and you said, well, if you can do better than the European man, but you screaming back Black excellence. Now, I've seen some people saying, you know what? At the end of the day, this is business, and Mase shouldn't have signed that contract. He was stupid. He was dumb. All his artists was dumb for even signing that. And I say to you, if you're 19 years old and somebody offering you $20,000 and you ain't seen that kind of money ever in your life, you might sign that shit too. That's how TLC got. Remember? Pebbles got them. They out here with the little RAV4s and people clowning them because they don't have no power. They don't have no money. They making all these Grammy nominated hits. They're winning Grammys and they're broke. That's because a lot of these young folks, they're so eager to get put on that they sign really bad deals. And Diddy knew that. He knew that he was doing that at the time. He was, all these kids, again, wanted to get put on. Bad Boy was huge in the 90s. So did he come to you? He want to sign you? Yeah, you should have a lawyer there. But guess what? What happens a lot of times with these big labels? They get you a lawyer. They assign you a lawyer. Their lawyer is your lawyer. So that's how a lot of these kids got a lot of them got screwed out of their money. It's unscrupulous. It is. And so what bothers me the most is that this man is sitting here saying, okay, yeah, you gave me $20,000. I was 19. I'm sitting here saying, here is $2 million so I can get my publishing back. And you're screaming back Black excellence, but you're saying if you can do better than the white man, then great. Or you have to wait until you're 50 years old. But again, y'all love Diddy. Y'all love Black man, Black excellence. He's fraudulent. He has been fraudulent. So many people have called him out. All right. Dirty Money has called him out. Kalina has called him out. So many people have called out Diddy for the kind of shit that he has done. And he has, I'm trying to think of bad boy artists who is doing well right now, who didn't suffer as a result of being under his label. And there aren't many. Like I said, Faith got gone. Lil' Kim got gone, but she's still not financially stable, right? It's so many of them that got because of this man. So I believe Mase 100%. And like I said, I kind of take issue with the fact that a lot of people's like, oh, well, he should have known better. A lot of these young folks don't know better. Now, I hope that this is a lesson to be learned for a lot of them. Like, read your contracts, read it. Make sure that you are paying attention to whatever it is that you sign. Don't just sign it. I think a lot of these young people today are going the independent route, and they're being a little bit more smart, and they're making a lot more money than the artists of yesteryear. But the fact that Harlem World went 4 times platinum, and all he got out of that was $20,000, all of his publishing, that was crazy. That was crazy, and that was robbery. That was. But, Diddy is not the only one to have ever done that. Barry Gordy was known for very similar type of tactics to these 360 deals. I was reading this article where Stevie Wonder, when he was signed, he was just probably about 11 years old. And I remember that Stevie Wonder was making like $2.50 a week. He was getting 2 cents on every album. The album was like 98 cents. He would get 2 cents from every album. And he was literally getting an allowance of $2.50 a week. They said that the other would be put in a trust, but he never really made any money when he was with Motown. And eventually somebody had to come in and renegotiate his contract where he was actually able to make some money. But Barry Gordy would have been just happy giving this boy peanuts. And so Barry Gordy was known for those kind of practices too. They said that Stevie Wonder had one of them first 360 deals where, basically the label gets they recoup everything. They recoup everything, and you really pretty much don't get anything. And that's what happened to TLC, and it sounds that's what happened to Mase. So I hope this is a lesson for a lot of these young artists coming up. Is just read your contract, know what you're signing, and also people like Diddy, stop taking advantage of these kids out here. I feel bad. I feel bad for any of these young folks that was out here. They just wanted to get put on so bad. Like Mase said, 19 years old, green behind the ears. You want to get put on so bad. Bad Boy is huge. And this man offers you $20,000 when you don't have shit. A lot of y'all would have taken it. I probably would have taken it. Like, okay, well, I'll just deal with whatever. But just the fact that Diddy's out here getting rich and how much money he's accumulated, while most of his artists are poor. They are poor. Most of them, you can just go Loon, just the Locks, all of them. They ain't got shit to show for it. And they were some of his biggest artists on his label, and they have nothing to show for it. And this man is offering you $2 million. And yet this man offered you $2 million, and you said, well, if you can do better than the white man. Now, at the end of the day, it's business, right? So at the end of the day, Diddy is a businessman. So he's going to go with the best deal. But if you are screaming Black excellence and you're talking about ownership, let that man own his masters. Let that man get something off of the work that he did under Bad Boy. I think that's right. But another thing I want to bring up really quickly before I go is the fact that Khalees said something similar about how Pharrell had threw her under the bus and did her and dogged her out, and people are calling her bitter. So they want to believe Mase, and they're like, oh, Diddy's terrible. But when Kweli said the same thing, similar to about how Pharrell did her, people are like, oh, well, she's just bitter. I just found it interesting how it just depends on who's saying it. If a man say it, he must be believed. But Khalees is like, she's bitter. I believe her too. I absolutely do. So, I hope that Diddy do the right thing. He ain't really responded to Mase saying what he said. But I honestly believe Mase. I believe him wholeheartedly. And I hope that this can be resolved. And if Diddy is all about black ownership, he needs to go ahead and give this man back his masters. Not for free, because he's not trying to get it for free. He is willing to give him $2 million in cash for his masters, and he needs to go ahead and let them go. All right? But again, Mase was one of his biggest artists, so maybe he won't. But he needs to be about that talk. You know, walk that talk. Walk that talk, Diddy, if you about it. All right? So we're going to be just watching. You know, the ball is in Diddy's court right now. The ball is definitely in Diddy's court. I hope that he go ahead and do the right thing, because it's the right thing to do. So all eyes on you, Diddy. All eyes on you, sir. We're going to be watching. We're going to be looking. We're going to be waiting to see what you really about. Are you about that life, Diddy? Are you really going to go ahead and give this man back his masters? You going to sell him back his masters, or what? What you going to do? The ball is in your court, sir.